this guy's mentioned in the article that your friends have been sending you, but we actually did a episode about him last year.
Oh, it is this guy.
Yeah, the Donut Daddy.
Donut Daddy. Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if you've checked in on the Donut Daddy lately.
No, I haven't. Like, I feel like there's a period maybe a year and a half ago. Like, my wife would just send me videos of his just being like, you should do this too.
Well, that's the thing. It's like when I watch these guys, I feel like you are maybe better suited to do it than even they are.
To what end though, Jarvis?
You're always licking your lips.
Maybe I'm just trying to like lure you into making content that I want.
He makes really beautiful food, especially pastry.
That's what I wanted to get your opinion on because he's definitely exhibiting skill.
Yeah, 100%.
Josh, do you have anything drawing your eye that we should take a peek at?
Yeah, there's that like millefeuille. Jacob, just click on the
Just click on
the
millefeuille.
millefeuille.
The millefeuille.
Yes.
Sorry, the Napoleon. The three layered. It's got 3.6 million views. That's a very technical, tough pastry to pull off.
Oh, yeah,
I'm curious to watch.
Yeah, let's see it.
To watch him do this.
Tearing stuff's always
He's got a
weird.
good pump going on. Using a French rolling pin, laminating the dough.
Yeah,
This is all very tough.
I think there's some burpees before the camera goes on. You know what I mean?
I
Really
have
get it
dumbbells in
moving.
my office that I'll get a pump on before I shoot sometimes.
Oh yeah, when he starts fingering the eggs,
Making a little
is that
creme
like
pat.
is that a culinary technique?
Does that help? Yeah.
No.
Ooh. Oh, dude, are you guys ever making out with someone and then you scrape them with a big metal comb thing?
Do you know where the term food porn comes from?
This?
Like that.
No, this is a beautiful example of food porn. Food porn is defined as the erasure of process of ultimately domestic labor. It was a second wave feminist term coined in the mid 80s in like an academic paper. But it was describing at the time these like women's life magazines that would have these beautiful spreads of crazy dinners that would probably take 16 hours to cook.
Right.
And then saying, look at how easy this recipe is, buy this magazine.
Right.
The term erasure of process, they call this like viennoiserie, is making laminated pastry dough. So croissants, Queen Amman, all that stuff, puff pastry. That is such a difficult skill and technique that people take years and years and years to master. And he is doing an incredible job of a baker, a thousands-year-old profession, doing a beautiful job at it. But this erases it down to 32 seconds,
right?
And then sexualizes it in. Would you call this playing to the female gaze or no? Is this still male gaze?
I think it's the craft of the male gaze is so much more established.
I think it's the idea of the female gaze. I think it's like it's the perceived female gaze.
Yeah, I think the female gaze often is a term that's misapplied to the female demographic.
Correct. Yeah.
And I think that's like because like really. Because we just don't have 100 years of cinematic language for not boys.
Oh, that one, 2.9 million views. It's called a croquembouche.
Oh, he's just like a vampire.
Yeah, so he's making what's called pâte à choux right there. Well, there he's ejaculating some
tell us about that technique. What's your technique?
Take your dick out of the bowl.
Yeah, well, so this is called pâte à choux, but it's the same dough that you use to make like churros, actually.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, so he's making cream puffs or. What's the French word for cream puff? That was probably isomalt. It's a type of sugar that's liquid at a really low temp. And then you're supposed to create this like isomalt sugar cage and spun sugar around this. This is maybe the notoriously hardest like French pastry to pull off in certain regards.
I could do it, but yeah.
So this guy's like technically very like skilled.
100%. And I would venture a guess. I mean, y'all know this. When you start making content, you sort of... It tends towards extremes,
right?
From both the consumption and the production of it.
Yeah.
I would bet if you went back to this dude's first videos, he was like,
"Hey guys, today I'm gonna do a really complicated French pastry."
Yes.
I also don't want to.
And probably wearing like a t-shirt that was a little tight.
And then they were like,
comments.
"Ooh, nipple daddy."
Yes.
And then he was like, "Oh, hold on." Then he wears a shirt where the nipples are cut out.
And
he's
now
like,
he's the nipple daddy.
Right.
I think it does get like sometimes it's very easy to. Some people will default to like begrudging this kind of content for the same reason, like silently. He's kind of trying. Is he trying a bit much? Doesn't he seem to care an awful lot about that thing? And that's like, something that a lot of guys get criticized for, and a lot of people get criticized for. It's funny how I guarantee, a good handful of people that you can't deny how good he is at this.
Yeah.
And so you kind of have to go like, well, but I don't like his hair.
From a food safety standpoint, are we upset at all that he's like not wearing a shirt?
No, man.
Okay, cool.
Oh my God. Have either of you worked in a restaurant kitchen?
No.
Jesus Christ. Anytime I won't wear gloves in a video or something because one, wearing gloves isn't even safer because you're more likely to get cross-contamination because you'll touch one raw ingredient with the glove and you don't wash your gloves with soap.
Right.
So anyways, but I'll do something on camera that people will be like, that's not food safe. And I'll be like, I'm cooking it for me and my friends and they're all watching.
Yeah.
I worked in like a catering company where we had a code red where if we saw the health inspector drive up in the security cameras, we said code red and we'd hide all of our violations in a closet and have someone keep guard.
Right.
Like if you've ever eaten in a restaurant, you have eaten some sort of horribly mishandled food.
Right.
And I don't care about your own plausible deniability that you didn't know what's going on. And suddenly you see a TikTok of me, cutting vegetables that are going to get cooked on the same cutting board as chicken. And then you feel the need to comment on it.
Right.
Yeah.
Makes
you're
sense.
Fine.
It sucks not having agency in things. It like sucks to not feel like you have some expertise in the things you're doing.
Half the time it feels like people just want to comment about something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Nice
so-
job cooking.
Which, you have to run that filter through. The most interesting comment that you'll get, I bet Donut Daddy gets this a lot, but even on some of my own stuff where someone goes, you just did this for attention. It's like, yes, it's the only way I know how to make money now.
Making
Wait,
content
that's
for
like
views,
the
huh?
entire industry of content.
The attention economy, yeah.
Me commenting on the Severance season finale, you just did this for attention.
Me watching Good Mythical Morning, we're like, you guys are talking a lot.
Yeah. Wow. I can't believe you guys think someone wants to look at your faces on camera.
I will say it has been really soul fulfilling for me to do things not for attention now.
Yeah.
Like just cook for myself and my friends and not take a single photo of it.
Oh, it's the best.
Not post it.
There's always a tiny
God.
part of me that's like, okay, I love video games, love game design, and I do, at one point, I did enjoy streaming. What if I just got into that and I go like, this has to be for me.
Yeah, keep it
I
inside.
can't give that away because then all of a sudden, like our friend Keenan, he streams every single day and he does game streams and he goes long and he puts a lot of work into the prep for these streams. I'm playing through the same game he's playing right now. I'm having a great time. We're texting about it. And I mentioned a part of it and he's like, oh, I'll have to try that out tomorrow. Because he can't do it right now. He's
Yeah,
not
you're
streaming.
not allowed
He has
to do
wait
it.
for the thing.
That's the funny thing. Like, I feel like most of my hobbies now are things that I don't show. And then sometimes people who, are peers of ours will be like, oh, well, would you ever make content out of that?
Yeah.
I'm like, absolutely not.
Yeah,
like, because this is for me.
Yeah.
I get, like, for example, like, I have a lot of Pokemon cards and, like, I do a lot of, like, Pokemon collecting and stuff. And there is a huge, some would say too big, emphasis now on opening packs on camera and like making a whole thing out of that. And people are like selling the pack. They're like opening boxes and selling the packs before they open them and doing live streaming on Whatnot and TikTok Live and stuff like that. And I have absolutely no interest in any of that because if I were to do it for work, it would take away for me, it's about the connection to my childhood and like, just like things that just genuinely bring me joy and happy memories and things like that. And to turn it into something I could dread.
I'm doing wrong. I'm doing my hobby
At
wrong.
the end of the day, it's like no matter how fun your job is, you're going to wake up some days and be like, ugh.
More fulfilling to cook for other people though, right?
Oh,
Do you have a
100%,
compromise when you're kind of cooking for yourself? That's like less of a...
Big time. Yeah, when I'm cooking for myself, I cook like healthy, nutrient-dense, spicy slop bowls. In ways I still put a certain amount of effort in to make it taste good, but like cooking for other people and actually like, it's such a beautiful, tangible thing. This weird mantra that keeps running around in my head in this increasingly digital, weird hellscape that we live in. I read a lot of cyberpunk growing up. It's just like the meat is important. Being here with your physical bodies is important. Reading people's body language, like the meat is important.
Yeah,
In a lot
absolutely.
of ways, and being able to actually like watch somebody eat and consume your food, feel that gratitude, right? Exist within that presence. It's like, it's beautiful. And it's something that I miss even, cooking on camera.
Doing
So it's been
eating
nice.
alone, or actually, I guess more accurately, like I never grew up with like everyone sits at the dinner table for dinner type
Yeah,
scenario.
neither.
It doesn't sound like any of us did, but I've been doing that here and there lately, and the dynamic of now if I eat and if we're all planning to like sit at the coffee table, a lot of time we'll stop and go like, no, let's just get at the dining table. Sitting at the coffee table feels like cyberpsychosis. That feels like you took too many mods and it has like taken over your brain.
What goes in a spicy slot bowl? I must ask.
I'm trying to think. Okay, so yesterday I made a spicy slot bowl. I did a ton of like kind of meal prep stuff on Sunday where I just made like 4 different sauces from scratch. So I made like an avocado srug. I made a morita chili. It's like a Yemeni hot sauce, super herby, like a morita chili harissa, a North African hot sauce. And then I did like a tzatziki and then almost like a muta ball. So like an eggplant thing. I love spicy Middle Eastern food, Mexican food, Southeast Asian food, whatever. Yeah. And so I had all of that. And so then I, yesterday I was pressed for time. So I took a half pound of ground chicken. I threw in a pan with like a quarter of a head of cabbage for, nutrients. And then just like a half a cup of rice. Cooked it in a pan till it was done, and then I could add all of my delicious spicy condiments that I'd made on Sunday,
right?
To spice up the slop.
Yeah.
You were your own like prep chef, or
literally,
prep cook, then you're like, oh, thank you, me.
And Sunday, I had a ton of research to do for Last Meal's guests, and so I just like plugged in podcasts that they did 7 years ago, and for like 4 or 5 hours just cooked a bunch of food. And then I generally cook. My wife was out of town for work, and I cook for her every night, and so that's what keeps me like making presentable,
right, and also connected
things
to like the feeling of cooking for leisure and for someone that you care about.
Yeah,
that's really sweet.
What tricky that tricky thing about like when someone cooks for you though, or vice versa, and both parties want to be effusive. Like, thank you so much for the food. Well, thank you so much for it.
Thank you so much.
It's probably really good. I mean, thank you for having it. Like, no, thanks for having me here.
In Iran, they call it tarofing.
What's that?
Grew up around a lot of Persian Jews. This idea of just like, oh, thank you, no, thank you, no, thank you, no,
right.
no, I insist, no, now I insist.
Right.
Yeah.
Counterpunch.
Let me put your kids through college. People are age.
Partnering.
Okay,
Nice.
okay, guys.
Hey, all right.
Oh my god.
It takes out the way.
Cheers.
All meat and fat.
Wait, what were you saying?
Don't worry about it.
That was funny.
It doesn't even need anything.
I'm full already.
I'm
just looking at this. By
Jesus.
the way.
Do they have anything else?
Such an aggressive knife for that steak.
He's got a machete.
Literally all meat right here.
This is literally all meat. Right there. What in the world? She's doing discus.
It's actually more similar to hammer.